Hey, I'm Ben, and welcome to Off the Map Live. Didn't mean to be so surprised, but I was I was reading down here. Got myself a little off guard there.
That was funny.
Welcome to the show. This is live, so this is how it goes. This is Off the Map Live, where we bring you interviews and videos from some of the world's top tattoo talent. I'm like a little floating head here. It's kind of stressing me out a little. For those of you guys who can't see, there's a little monitor right below me, and it's really weird.
It's getting weird.
It's getting weird.
Yeah.
All right. This show wouldn't be possible without TattooNOW and Off the Map Tattoo. And this show is brought to you, this episode, by Guy Aitchison and his upcoming Contrast Optimizing Your Use of Value in Color seminar that you can sign up for now. That happens in February. Also, Jeff Gogue, who will be on the show later, and Guy are going to be doing a collaborative tattoo also in February, and that's a free webcast that you can tune in and check out. That'll be on, I think it's going to be on TattooNOW. Yeah, Matt O'Brien, who you'll be seeing later, will be telling you probably a little bit more about that kind of stuff. On this episode, I'll be talking with Damon Conklin, who's in-house, and via Skype, we'll be talking with BJ Betts and Cory Ferguson. And Jeff Gogue will make a little stop in to tell you about his newest video that's available. Here we are with Damon. So there he is. Check him out.
Booyah.
So Damon, how you doing, man?
Great. Tip top. You?
I'm better now that everything's rolling.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, good to run into you here, man. It's,
How did you spend your day today?
doing a few little buddy tattoos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For the endangered species benefit?
For the endangered species benefit, yeah.
Cool. What did you get to do today?
I did a couple of elephants and a bee.
Very nice.
Yeah.
How'd they come out? Yeah,
Good enough. Yeah. No, they're cool. It's fun to zone out on little buddies' tattoos. Don't get to do it much.
I think the event did 65 tattoos today.
Tight.
And all of that money went to a good cause.
I think Audubon Society was our main donator.
Hey, Gabe. Where'd all the money go from the benefit that you just had?
Arcadia Wildlife Sanctuary.
Arcadia Wildlife Sanctuary. Thanks,
Yeah.
Gabe. We couldn't do this without you. So what are you doing in town, Damon?
Well, I came up here to tattoo for this and to teach a seminar and hang out a little bit, check out the place, see Off the Map, the flagship location. You know. What's
your webinar all about?
It's funny. It's why tattooers should paint, which is the massively simplified way of saying what someone should be able to expect from the marriage of the two mediums and from the amount of work that it'll take to do a full workload of both. And in doing that much work, you will produce your own style without having to think about it. You can only do whatever you want and your style will happen because it's your personality in your medium that you work in. And if you produce enough work, it will happen. And that way, it'll happen more truly to who you are than if you try to contrive it or try to do a style that's similar to something or, it's just you.
So did you paint before you tattooed?
I've done different mediums, forever and ever. But I decided when I was young that I would try to concentrate my oil painting learning, that it would start when I was like 40. Hoping that at that point I'd have just enough patience to see the learning curve through. So
you've been painting for a couple months now?
So yeah, so I did 500 paintings in 5 years, and so I've been painting almost 6 now. Yeah.
Was that a daunting project?
Well, it's always daunting when you work for the biggest prick and that's you. It's just self-imposed. I wanted to do it, so it was not really it was a chore, but it wasn't really a pain in the butt,
What was your daily ritual? Did you paint every single day, or did you do 2 in one day?
I would try to paint every day, knowing that I'd probably hit 4 or 5 sessions a week, and just as long as I cranked out an average of 2 paintings a week, is all good. So if I missed a week, or if I only made 1, then I'd do 3 the next week, or something like that.
Right on.
Yeah.
So how did you get into tattooing?
It's funny. I didn't want tattoos or to be a tattooer until I got my first one when I was 26. And a guy gave a presentation when I was in art school about tattooing. I couldn't care less. I had no interest in it. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to be a real artist. And and then I met a guy who was a tattooer who was doing cool tattoos named Joel Kennedy, and he was working at Slave to the Needle. So I went in there and I got a tribal sun that
nice.
I designed.
Oh, sweet.
From him. Yeah, he was pumped. Not so much. And but I felt my life change that day in the chair. You know, it was just one of those days, and where you feel everything kind of falling into place. And 2 years later, I was working at Slave to the Needle, and Aaron was introducing me to the world.
Were you putting tribal suns on other people that brought them into you?
You know, tribal suns, all kind. It was the '90s, the mid '90s.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
Yeah, suns with flames, suns with blue flames, purple flames, red flames, suns with moons, suns that are sexy, suns that are mean. You know, suns that are pretty, suns that are fairies, suns that are warriors. Yeah, a lot of suns.
Do you still wear your tribal sun, or is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you still got it.
Yeah.
You wear it with pride.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
You just wear it.
I don't really take my shirt off, so no one ever sees it. But, yeah.
My first tattoo was drawn by me too.
Yeah.
I brought it in and was like, hey, make it just like this.
Yeah,
Because I must know better than you, the guy who does this for a living,
right,
right?
right.
I didn't have any idea.
Yeah.
So how long have you been tattooing now?
It's 18 years. Yeah. 18
Still
years.
enjoy it?
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah?
I fall in love with it in new ways all the time. Painting's brought a lot of fresh life into it for me. Another thing that I talk about in the seminar is that, you know, by keeping your mediums and your sources, your inspirations fresh and varied, is you'll never fall out of love with tattooing. You'll always have fresh input coming through. It'll be more work, you know, but, you know, I think love is work.
Do you think they're similar in medium? I mean, painting and tattooing, are they similar?
Not at all.
No?
No. I mean, you're putting an image on a surface. Other than that, oil, you know, you can slop it around, you can move it, you can paint over it, you can do, you know, so you can screw up, you can just experiment wildly and never have to think about, you know, I mean, tattooing is all surface damage and managing it, you know, and it's kind of like programming and trying to fit a bunch of numbers into an amount of storage space so that your platform can run it, you know. You poke that skin too many times, man, the platform won't run it.
So how do you avoid overworking a tattoo?
Well, you overwork a bunch of them when you're young, and you figure it out, and you start to notice what the skin looks like before and after and during, and you try to stay on the safe side.
So are you a coil man or are you a rotary guy?
I'm a rotary guy for the most part nowadays. I line with a coil machine, but I did some line work this weekend with a one of those ones that looks like a dildo. What is it called?
I don't know.
Sorry. I mean, they look like what they look like. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what was it? Was it metal? Was it plastic?
It's oh man, am I
know,
really
dude.
having this hard of a time? Anyway, but it was one of those cartridge-based machines.
Oh, like a
and
Hawk.
I lined with one of those.
Cheyenne Hawk?
Yeah, it was a Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk. Got it.
Yeah, and it lined good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Think you might try one in the future?
You can't argue with the results. There's
Right on.
way too many kids that have been tattooing 3 years. They're doing flawless color saturation. It heals great. You know, I've worked for almost 20 years to try to figure out how to do that. You know,
Why'd you make a switch from coils to rotaries?
a buddy of mine was in town, and he is sick of me hemming and hawing about the rotary machines, and he's like, "Look, I'm not going to be tattooing for the next couple days. Here's my Swiss rotary. Use it." I was tattooing some friends over the next couple of days. I used it, and by the time I had gotten into it a couple hours, I was in love with it.
Cool.
Just the stroke reliability.
You know what it's going to do
Every
just
time.
about every time.
It's a rotary motor. It either rotates or it does not.
Right.
You know.
All the variables, not all, a lot of the variables have been taken out.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. It
missing.
either works stunningly well or it don't work at all. You know.
So you run the Seattle Tattoo Convention? Yeah?
Yep.
How long have you been doing that?
Last year, this last one was year 12.
12 years.
Yep.
Why did you decide to start your own convention?
I wanted to show the Northwest where I'm from, and I love my home. I wanted to show them the fun and wonder and talent of the tattoo circuit, you know, and on the other end of that, I wanted to show this rad family of wacky tattoo talented weirdos I know. I wanted to show them Seattle, because Seattle's rad.
Right on.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges you had running the convention?
Biggest challenges? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's new stuff all the time. You try to look for ways to spin it to the press so they'll want to give you free coverage, you know, and that's, you know, after a few years that gets, you know, you're like, what do we do now, you know, like, you know, there's when all the tattoo reality shows started up and you finally got some guy to come out from a show without having to pay him. And then everybody at the show shows up with fuck reality tattoo shows.
Oh, yeah.
T-shirts.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Big, bold, black letters on white shirts. And a guy that I've known forever is the one who brought the shirts. And I'm like,
Jesus. Brutal.
dude, at my come on, really? Like,
Well, yeah, people are going to express themselves.
well,
you know?
nobody thinks of the other side, you
No.
know?
So what are your thoughts on reality TV?
Well, I mean, my thoughts are it is what it is. I don't, you know, it's kind of like saying, well, what do you think of where that wave came from? I'm like, well, I think I don't want to drown and I don't want to fight. So if I got a board, I'll surf, you know?
Right on.
And that's kind of how I feel about reality TV shows. People stopped asking why I charge $60 for a kanji or whatever, and they started asking why it's going to take more than 15 minutes to draw their back piece. I'd rather answer question number 2 than question number 1.
Right.
You get a lot more money for question number 2, and a lot more fulfilling of an art piece, and so people are now coming in on the average getting cooler art tattooed on them, and what kind of an idiot would I be to complain about that?
I think that's a direct result of the exposure to the
There's
tattoos?
no doubt about it.
Yeah?
I watched it happen. Yeah, it happened right in front of my eyes.
Right on. You think you'd ever be on one?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm a nut job. Why wouldn't I be? But I don't think I don't know. I don't think I fit into close enough to any group stereotype. I think it's hard for, like, you know, a Hollywood brainstorming session to figure out how to use me to the public.
Well,
honestly.
you'd have to be kind of a dick at some point sometime. And you don't seem like you're ever really a dick. So you,
Well,
they
that's
gotta,
just-
they need to, they would, you know,
They
they'd have
would
to
need
get
to
you
see it. It's in there. Oh, fuck, it's in there. Oh, yeah.
Well, hopefully we never see that.
Well, hopefully it's at least just something entertaining, not something serious.
So you're doing a seminar. Have you done seminars in the past?
A couple.
Yeah?
I haven't done a lot of them, but I did 2 or 3 painting workshop type seminars, and those are easy. Just like show up. I provided everything because I wanted to sort of contain the breadth of things we were going to discuss while painting. This one's just me running my mouth, lecture based or whatever. But yeah, just trying to go into the details of how to steer your career, doing almost nothing but making art. You know,
That's amazing. If you could do that, I wish I could do that.
it's really
You got to work though.
Well, we kind of do some of this stuff instinctively, and the thing is if I think if I can get people to who don't already to think about these things consciously, then you can take a little more charge over and steer a force that's already working to your benefit. Probably, you know, if it was a roadmap without doing it consciously, you're kind of driving around and getting there as opposed to driving straight to the place with a good map and directions.
But sometimes driving around is good.
Oh, yeah. And there's room for that within this master plan. Mwahaha.
Do you have a master plan?
Don't we all think we do?
Hey, I think we're going to try to dial up BJ Betts.
Good call. Yeah.
See what he has to say.
Right?
Hopefully he's home.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
What's up? That's a nice picture. There you
Hey,
are.
there you are.
Hey.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't. I got nothing for you guys.
You're
though.
just going to be
I'm
able.
still
You're
loading
probably
it.
just going to be able to hear us.
that's whack.
Sorry.
Wick, wick, whack.
What's up,
We'll
buddy?
send you a recording of the show
Chilling.
later, and you can check us out.
Hold on, I was just watching it. Hold on a second. Okay.
So how you doing?
Yeah, good, man. It's a little weird that I'm just talking to a blank screen, but you can see me.
Sorry about that, man. We'll have to
No problem.
whip our guy in the back a little bit.
Cool.
You got a cool piece hanging up behind you, though. That's a nice backdrop for your computer.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I got yeah, it's like an old, I don't even know what the hell. It's from like a I don't know, like an early 1900s old church ceiling, like an old tin ceiling.
Ah, cool.
It's like it doesn't look too big behind my 9-foot head, but
I can't talk, bro.
it's pretty big. It's a good size. The thing's awesome. Yeah, I found it like I don't know, some old antique thing one day in the middle of nowhere, like Amish country.
That's the best.
And oh, it was awesome. Yeah, man.
So what's new? What you been up to these days?
Oh, not much, man. Same old stuff. Tattooing, lettering, normal stuff.
Right on.
Sick.
So for some folks who aren't familiar with where you're coming from, can you tell us where you started and how long you've been tattooing?
Started as in, did my first tattoo?
Yeah, we'll start there, sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, so a good friend of mine, I guess the name's not really important right now. Whatever. Jeff Godwin went by the name of Sailor Jeff. I grew up with the guy. He got some tattoo equipment in a trade, gave me a call one day. At this point, I was always drawing and painting and airbrushing and that sort of thing, and so it seemed like, and I had tattoos at the time already. I was in the military at the time, and
What branch?
I was in the Navy.
Oh, tight.
Yeah. So so Jeff calls me up. Hey, man, you still drawing? Still painting? I said, yeah, actually, I am, man. He goes, oh, well, I got this tattoo stuff, man. Maybe we can, come on over and give it a try. I was like, yeah, I'm good, man. I don't want to get tattooed by you. Are you serious? He's like, no, man. You come over and maybe we can work something out. Try it on me. Like, you know how to draw. Whatever. Obviously, by the way, this is not the proper way to make this happen to become a tattooer, as you know. But yeah, man. So my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, was like, oh, what do you got to lose? Let's go over there. So yeah, cool. So like I said, I had tattoos already, and I knew how it was supposed to, look and feel and sound and kind of smell. You get that green soap smell in the tattoo shop.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So I went over there and did my first tattoo, and literally he had the the Huck Spalding A to Z tattoo. Everybody knows that one. And yeah, man. So I'm literally sitting in his dining room with his leg up on my leg. I did this like tribal barbed wire, abortion on his leg.
Very nice.
And absolutely, yeah. So yeah, man, he's like holding the tattoo, how to tattoo A to Z book in front of me, like as I'm tattooing him. He's like holding it up, and I'm just like, yeah, man, now what? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, turn the page. So he's literally like, turn the page, and I'm like, okay, hold it 45-degree angle, like reading it as I'm tattooing. So anyway, that was my first introduction to tattooing, and that was in '94, I think. Yeah, it had to have been '94. So my daughter was born in the end of '94, so it was right around the end of '94. She was super young, only a month or two old. So and that was it, man. I guess it went okay, I guess, so to speak. Looking back at it now, and that was the beginning of it. So and then was still active duty in the military. Was going away quite a bit, and was just kind of tattooing when I could. My friend Jeff ultimately got an apprenticeship at a shop, and so he would work and come home and basically teach me what he learned during that day. And then, blind leading the blind.
You were an apprentice.
Absolutely, I was.
Oh man, I bet the shop owner would have been pumped.
Oh yeah.
Sick, right? Yeah. So yeah, that was how it all started for me, and and then like I said, I was being on active duty in the military. I didn't have a lot of free time, and so going away a month or two or 3 or 4 or whatever the case may be at a time. I tattoo just when I could. I got injured in the military. I hurt my back pretty bad, and had to end up getting out of the military. And came home on the weekend and got a job at this shop at the time, and got out of the Navy on a Wednesday, and I was at the shop Thursday morning, like ready to go, just going full at it, you know.
So when did you start doing lettering, and what attracted you to doing lettering?
I mean, I think I don't know. Looking back at it, I guess, you know, I did a lot of graffiti when I was younger, and I was always attracted to a lot of letter forms and shape, and the simplicity of it, but yet the complexity of it, as in, you know, a letter A is basically 3 lines, you know, but what you do with that from that point on is, you know, obviously it's up to you, and, you know, you can shape it and do whatever you need to do with it, but it's still, at the end result is it's a letter A. But, so I think, I don't know, I think it always seemed like it was the missing link. You know, I would read tattoo magazines and always see, you know, back in the early 90s and mid 90s, when I was really looking at a lot of tattoo magazines heavily, I was over in Desert Storm, and we would get, you know, just the kind of magazines filter through it that people would bring once they went home on leave or whatever, and would bring it back, and it would make its rounds through the ship or through the base camp or wherever we were at the time. And you know, I didn't really see a lot of lettering, and I was drawing a lot of lettering, and, you know, I feel like these days everybody has something to say, you know. So I think that's why one of the reasons why lettering is so popular as it is now. So it seemed like there was always that the tattoo would be so amazing, and it got to that lettering. And I mean, Damon, you've been tattooing long enough, man. You know that back in, you know, mid 90s, there was only a handful of people that, you know, that you would think of when you thought about lettering. It was always like the second or third thought in the tattoo process. And it was Jack Rudy, Freddie Negretti, Freddie Corbin, you know, a lot of West Coast guys, Dave Gibson, and, you know, we all had the lettering guides. We all had, or the one that was kind of floating around, that was like the Dave Gibson one, and we all had the, you know, the big flash sheet with Old English, Fat English, chopsticks. You know,
right. Chopsticks.
Every shop.
That's funny.
Yeah. You know the one.
Yep.
And so, yeah, man, everybody had that, and I don't know. It always seemed like that was there wasn't as much attention paid to that as there was for the rest of the tattoo. And, you know, you'd see that really nice Sacred Heart, that really nice, you know, whatever tattoo, and then you get to the lettering and the banner, it just absolutely blows, and you just think like, yeah, man, what happened? So, yeah, and for, you know, and looking back at that also, like, you know, I was going to a lot of conventions with my friend Mike Dorsey, and I was really attracted and drawn to the Japanese tattooing and style and that whole feel and look of tattooing. And it was weird. I spent so much time trying to learn that as much as I could, and traveling a lot, and, you know, studying. And you know, Mike's an amazing painter, amazing artist, amazing tattooer. And I learned as much as I can from going, you know, working with him at conventions and meeting a bunch of people. Yeah, I'd have like, I don't know, 80 photos in my portfolio. 60 of them would be Japanese, and, you know, maybe 5 would be lettering, and then, you know, 25 of whatever, or 15 of whatever else. And people would just ask me like, "Oh man, what about this lettering?" And, you know, it's like, well, yeah, just keep looking past that. Let's get to this stuff we're doing. You know, and it never. I don't know. It was weird how it seemed to kind of kick off, and then yeah, man, it just seemed like it just, you know, unassumingly took over to my the way I was tattooing, and that became one of the, you know, larger staples in my tattooing.
Hey, we've got a live viewing party going on in Lafayette, Indiana, and they sent us a question in for you.
Yeah, sure.
This is from Ryan Fletcher. He wants to know.
Ryan.
He wants to know what your original aspirations or plans were in tattooing, and has it changed from your initial expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I was just hinting at, as far as the, you know, really being into the Japanese type of artwork. Is it on a delay, man, or is it live right now?
No, it's live right now.
Live.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if they might have heard that still. And so anyway, yeah, I was definitely into the always into Japanese art, and like I said, man, it definitely isn't how I expected this all to go. You know, I felt like I did pretty good lettering over the years, even when I first started tattooing. The first lettering book I did, as Damon, man, like the Richmond convention years ago was the convention.
Yep.
There was a few that were really big, but it seemed like Richmond and Billy Easton, rest in peace, was always put on a good show and always had the caliber of artists back then. The tattoo magazines came to life when you would go to the convention.
Right.
It's like these guys that you would see, like even Damon, you see his artwork and you see everybody in the magazines, man. And then you go to a tattoo convention and there they are. And you can actually, it's like listening to your favorite band CD and you go to a convention and there they are. And you can actually, with the exception that you can actually talk to them and go up to them and, it's everything kind of that you thought it would be, hopefully. And anyway, so yeah, the first lettering book that I did, I always refer to it as Bob Tyrell's story. Bob, for a lot of conventions, Bob would come up to me and always ask me for to help him out with some lettering if he's doing lettering for a portrait. And luckily I can whip it out pretty quick, even if it's just a rough sketch. And so that led to me doing this book, lettering, which turned out to be lettering book number 1, coming up on 10 years ago now. And I made a bunch of copies, gave it out to my friends at the convention, just basically as a here, man, look, here's how I do it. So stop asking me as much. I'm
Right, read the book next time.
Yeah, here you go. Again, I did it. So I did that as a basic layout format for how I guess to put some lettering together, and it was really, really basic, a bunch of alphabets, and then I thought like, oh man, maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe there was only a few quote unquote sketchbooks at the time, which were like Mike Malone and Sailor Jerry, and the older ones that we all had in the shops. And then it was like, I guess me and Todd Noble and Seth all kind of did one around the same exact time, but theirs was more definitely art sketchbook, heading in that direction that kind of took over where the Flash scene kind of went to. But so yeah, to answer the question in a long roundabout way, no, man, I had no idea that's how it was going to end up. And I was super into Japanese artwork, and although I was definitely into lettering, but it was always I wanted to kind of be known as the other guy, and never really worked out that way. But hey, I'm completely fine. I love doing lettering, and I'm completely honored and fortunate to be able to do what I love to do every day.
I noticed recently that you were bootlegged by some shithead out there on the internet, making copies of your books. How do you deal with stuff like that?
I don't know, to be honest, man. What do you do other than send the cease and desist letter and try and nip it in the bud? And I've gotten a lot of emails like, oh man, I got the dude's address. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna do this. I want to keep it up. Go break some thumbs. Like, yeah, man, that's cool, but like I don't want to have nothing to do with that right now. Like I'm not like in my 20s still and doing that kind of stuff, man. I got I just want to. I don't know. I just want to make cool stuff, man, like all of us do. And it's unfortunate part of this business with the popularity of tattooing that, man, it's going to happen. I mean, Damon, I'm sure there's bootleg copies of your Flash. There's bootleg copies of a lot of things, man.
Oh, I love it. I'm like, dude, I've never been a graffiti guy, but I was doing Flash to get up on walls, bro.
Yeah.
So you're going to put my name on more shop walls? Wear yourself out, man. Mike DeVries isn't going to give you a free book in 10 years.
Right? Yeah. So, no, it's funny, man. But I don't know. I went to China a couple years ago. I was doing some work with New Balance or Adidas at the time. Sorry, and so they brought me to China for this big Adidas event. And man, there's a lot of tattoo supply places that are just open to the public, and they're just anything goes. And there's obviously 90 whatever percentage of the stuff is bootleg. Even inks that are labeled with I don't know whatever. I don't want to say any certain brand names, but whatever, Intens or Eternal or whatever. But there was definitely like the right label. Well, it looked like a right label, but I didn't know that Intense made a 32-ounce bottle of red. China,
this looks
they have it,
delicious.
so-
I'm famished.
yeah. So yeah, but it was all like bootleg ink, if that's even a word. But
Sure.
yeah. So I mean, I guess, and I get emails from my friends that might see things on eBay and say, "Hey man, this is on eBay. A CD of thousands of designs. You've all you've
Right.
seen them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what do you do except email? Send a message to eBay saying, "Hey man, this guy's selling bootleg stuff, man. What can I do about it?" So
So if someone wanted to get a hold of your legitimate stuff, where's one of the best distributors to go to?
well, there's a couple, man. I mean,
What are some of your favorites?
well, my favorite person to work with right now, man, is Tim Hendricks, who has Saltwater Tattoo Supply. Tim's an amazing dude, amazing tattooer, great guy. I mean, I also have my own website that sells all the books, which is oddly enough tattooletteringbooks.com.
Hey, look at that.
So yeah.
Smart marketing right there.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
what do you want? Tattoo lettering books? Like, yeah, cool, I got it. But yeah, man, Tim's an amazing guy. I mean, Wendy Belzell, Unimax. I mean, there's a lot of distributors that have everything, but I mean, I like to sell them, my own as well, obviously. But I also like to, I mean, that way, I can personalize them, and I still sign everything, everyone. Sometimes I might only send stuff out once a week if I have to sign a bunch of them. But yeah, man, I definitely like to stop tattooing and sign books, and I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm that guy, but I mean, I know when I buy something, I'd like to have it signed by the artist, and I appreciate that. And I try and do the same for everybody who makes a purchase.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more special, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It shows you give a shit and you're not just trying to get somebody's buck.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I do give a shit, and that's probably why after having a talk with Sean Barber about it, that we all, and Damon including, we all do give a shit, probably too much, and that's why we'll never be super wealthy about it, because we still do care.
Right.
That's good. You
But,
don't want to get to that point where you're just about the money. I mean, I'm sure you could. You could probably be all kinds of a dick and douchebag and sell yourself out and make a ton of money. But do you want to live with that person?
No, absolutely, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm completely content with with where I am and what I've done. I mean, I'm not I'm content in the sense that to what you just said, but I'm definitely not content with where I am in my career. There's still so many things I want to do and that I'm working on now that I can't wait to get finished with. But yeah, man, for the most part, I'm happy with how it's been going.
If I can butt in for a second.
Oh man, that's why you're here, man. You butt in all you want.
Dude, so I just moved into a new pad and it's bigger and better, and I put up a flash wall in my hallway. So I was going through all my old flash because it's about memories, it's my pad. And and I'm like, because I introduced myself to you this summer, and you're like, I met you before, and I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. And then I'm looking at this flash, I'm like, holy shit, there it is. I remember because there was the set you did with with Mike Dorsey, but then there was some of your stuff too, where it was like some roses and stuff, and it was good flash. But you've come a long way for sure.
Thank you, man.
A lot of growth still. Yeah.
Oh man, I think we met in probably I don't even know where
Probably
that was.
Detroit
Was that
or
for some reason I feel like it was some weirder Champaign, Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. And I was working with it was me and Dave Fox and Josh Hoffman and Dorsey and man. At that point, me and Mike had a couple of sets of flash that were still good. And again, that was at the point where I still wanted to to be that guy, the Japanese tattoo guy. And,
there's very little lettering on there. It was all mostly graphics, imagery,
Absolutely, yeah. And then I think maybe the one you're talking about with the roses, that was just maybe my set. I think there was some lettering on it. It might even have said roses on the rose sheet.
It does.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that page is on my wall.
Oh man, well, I have to send you an update. I need to do an updated version and redeem myself on that one, man.
I ain't no idiot. I won't say no to that.
Hey,
I'll
find something to send you back for it.
Awesome. Yeah, man.
I got a couple questions from the folks that are watching. We got people watching from Argentina. We got Puerto Rico, Montreal, Ecuador,
New
Mexico, Myrtle Beach, Louisville. They're all over the place. Florida. But I got a question. They'd like to know, do you do any painting or work in any other mediums other than tattooing?
I do, yeah. I love to do. I love to work with watercolor. I love to do liquid acrylic. I've done oils a bit, man, but I just can't. I don't know. It really bothers me that I can just like scrape it off and start over again. Whereas working with watercolors and liquid acrylic, watercolors in particular, they're a little more or less forgiving, and you have to pretty much commit to what you're working on. So yeah, I think I sent. I don't know what's showing because I can't really see the rest of the thing, but I know I sent some photos over to Gabe, and I think a few of them were some watercolor paintings that I've done. Like I said, I don't know what's showing on what part of the screen or whatever. But
yeah, we've been cycling through a lot of your tattoos, and right now we're looking at looks like a skull and roses kind of thing with.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been cycling through your artwork. People have been able to see it. I apologize that you can't see what we're putting out.
Oh no, it's fine, man. Like I said, just a little weird looking at myself talk to myself and listening to you.
Right.
But, yeah, no, I love painting, man, and I wish I had a little more free time to do it. But I have been working on some bigger things and bigger paintings, and it seems like once I get one done, it's already kind of on the way out the door. And I don't know, but I need to find some more free time. Hopefully, in the new year, I'll have a little more free time to paint more. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and really, it's oddly enough, it's relaxing. That you can just put on some headphones or just kind of zone out to whatever music and just go for it.
Right on. Hey, so what do you think's better for lining, rotary machines or coil machines?
Better for
lining.
What? I don't know, man. I've to be honest, man, I've never done an outline with a rotary machine.
All right. Well, that answers that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I was in Calgary at this convention in Canada, I guess a couple weekends ago, and the lady from the health department came over and was just going over our booth and everything. And she, I don't know, she was probably in her 20s, maybe late 20s, and so she says, yeah, what everything is here. You got your green soap, you got your this, and this. Yeah, cool. And she's like, oh, what kind of machines do you use? And I've attended a lot of conventions, and I've never had anybody ask me what kind of machines I've ever used. So I was like, is there a certain answer you're looking for? Or what, I don't know, Seth Safari, Tim Hendricks, what are you looking for?
Right.
He's like, no, do you use the this kind? And she, like, I don't know, had a little pamphlet, and it was like a, I don't know, Cheyenne Hawk or something. And she's like, do you use this or do you use the older kind? And I was like, what? Older kind? Like, and she meant like the regular coil machines, like older, like, so that's where that's at right now, man. It's now it's the difference between the, tattoo machines and then the older machines, which are the coil machines, which I listened to, when Damon earlier was saying that's what he learned with, obviously, and, still do. That's all. I own a couple of rotaries, but I don't know, man. I'm just so comfortable using a good strong coil machine. I've tried it for some shading here and there, but never for lining.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for that. We're gonna go out to a video that Cory Ferguson sent us. Thanks for talking with us. If you want to stick around and chat with us a little bit later, we can bring you back into a group conversation with everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to run Cory's video, and then we're going to come back with him and talk with him a little bit. And if you want to talk with us again, it'd be great to get you back in later on.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Thanks, BJ.
Cool.
All right, thanks, man.
Right on.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers. Good seeing you.
Hey, man.
My name is Cory Ferguson, and I love doing tattoos. My dad is a tattoo artist, so I guess you could say it's in my blood. I've been tattooing full-time since May of 2000, but I've been working in the industry since '93. I started working at the tattoo shop while I was still in high school, and I never left. My true passion is style best summed up as black work. What I do is a mixture of geometry, repetitive patterns, dot work, and Polynesian influence tribal. Generally, my work's not about deep, meaningful storytelling. My focus is on the visual. I'm not here to tug at your heartstrings, I'm trying to mess with your eyes. One of the best compliments I've ever gotten about a tattoo was when someone said that they actually got dizzy looking at it. Now that to me is a successful tattoo. It doesn't all have to be dizzying, I'm just trying to make them flattering to the body with a nice flow and a striking image that can be appreciated from a distance as well as up close. Even after 20 years in the business, I still feel like I'm just getting started.
Hey, how's it going? We're back, and we're going to try to look at you guys instead of this awesome, handsome monitor right down there. So that was Cory Ferguson's video that he sent us. We try to show everybody stuff that they sent us. We're going to try to get him on the line and chat with him, and we're dialing him up right now. It's a good time for me to tell you that we have live viewing parties going on during this, and if you want to have a party, check out TattooNOW TV. Send us a little line, and we'll send you some swag if you send us some photos, and we'll do shout-outs to your party.
Cool.
Cory!
Hello, how's it going?
What's up? You're live.
All right, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Thanks for having me on here, I'm very honored.
Thanks for joining us, man. So we just took a look at your video.
Cool.
Who made that for you?
That was actually one of my customers. I was tattooing this guy, he does that for a living, so he was talking to me about doing it. I think it came about, I was telling him about, I always had this idea to do like a stop motion video of like a dot work tattoo happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like sort of like dot by dot. That was sort of my vision, but you know, I just kind of let them run with it and do their thing because they seemed to know what they were doing. So it didn't really come out like, you know, what I had envisioned as far as like a stop motion, you know, tattoo happening, but it ended up becoming more of like a promotional thing. It's sort of what they did with it, but it was cool. It's a cool video.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
I was stoked with it. It was fun.
Real cool.
I still want to do that one day. I still want to do like a stop motion, you know, dot work tattoo just happening one dot at a time, you know, with no hands in the picture or anything, just full on, just watching this thing appear. I think that'd be awesome, but I need to find the right people to do that for me, I guess.
Time consuming, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
man, you'd have to do a dot, take a picture, do a dot, take a picture, do a dot, take a picture. You could do that. You could do that yourself. They make cameras that are eyeglass mounted. You could probably do that yourself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you could
I should look into
put
that.
your hand, take a click, and then do another one.
Right.
But man, holy shit, would that take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love-
we did a
I would
bunch
love
of
to
that
watch
with this
it.
video. Yeah, there's a little bit of it in the video. We did a lot of the filming that way. So I was hoping more of that would make its way into the video. So we like most of the dots that were in that tattoo were done that way, where I would do like maybe 4 or 5, take my hand away, they would take a picture, go back in, do 5 more dots, take a picture. It was very time consuming.
Wow.
But I guess when they edited it, it didn't really play out so well on video. So not as much ended up on the final cut, I guess.
So we'll do a quick intro here for folks who don't know you. Where are you from, and how long you been tattooing?
I'm from Oakville, which is just outside Toronto, up in Canada. I've been tattooing for 13 years now. Been in the business for 20. I started out working for Crazy Ace, who's passed away now, but he was quite the legend. So I was working for him. My dad was working for him. My dad's also a tattooer. So originally, when I was, yeah.
So you're second generation tattooer.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in a shop? You know, a lot of guys don't have that kind of experience.
Yeah, it was freaking great, man. Especially to see some of the people that were in that shop at the time where they're at now is ridiculous.
Wow.
Like, back then, Steve Moore, Craig Driscoll, and Kurt Wiscombe were all at the shop at the same time.
Right.
It was totally ridiculous. Those guys are like, some of the best in this country now. Probably, easily the best in the country. So
Nice.
it was pretty exciting.
So how old were you
actually,
when you did your first tattoo?
I was probably, I might have been around 20, 22 maybe.
Wow, I would think it would be way earlier just
Right,
because
yeah.
you're around it all the time. I'm surprised someone didn't put a machine in your hand and say, "Here."
Yeah, it was kind of hinted at, but I don't know. I was busy being a kid, playing in punk rock bands and shit like that. Where I was at the shop initially as a needle maker. I made tattoo needles for the whole Way Cool Tattoos chain.
No shit.
So I did that for years. I have put in my needle making time. Holy shit!
Right.
I've made fucking tens of thousands of needles probably.
Wow.
So at the time I was like, I was busy doing my punk rock thing, and I wasn't interested in like living, breathing, sleeping, tattooing like I was watching everybody else do, like when I was 17, 18. So I kind of stayed away from it for a little bit. And even having all those guys around the shop, that actually kind of discouraged me from tattooing for a bit, because like I've been drawing my whole life, but not super serious about it. And so I'm like this 18-year-old kid, and watching what these guys were doing, I was like, holy fuck, man, I could never do what these guys are doing. Like, there's no way. Even back then, like in their, I think they were just finished apprenticing and stuff. Steve Moore and Craig Driscoll, like they were killing it, man. Their artwork was just insane. So I thought that's what you had to be to be a tattooer, was to be as good as those guys. So it kind of discouraged me for a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I don't, like, maybe that's not I can't do that stuff. But after a few years, I was like, no, I'm sure I could get by just doing the flash and stuff. I could do some flash off the walls, no problem. So eventually I decided, like, I don't want to make needles forever. Maybe I'll start to tattoo. And,
Right on.
yeah.
So we got a question from some of the folks that are watching. It says, in the video, it looked like you did a medium coverage of dots over the whole tattoo, and then went back and concentrated the dots more to darken things up. Is that something that you normally do?
Depending on it depends what it is. Some things I'll do like that. Sometimes I'll just do the dark to light gradations as I go. Depends on the piece and what's going to happen with it. It varies a lot. Yeah.
So what led you to dot work?
I was going over to England a lot early in my career, and I started working had a regular guest spot at Bugs' shop, Evil from the Needle, and so I worked with a guy there named Thomas. He calls himself Thomas now, and he was sort of getting it off of Zed Lahead. So that's basically where that kind of style originated, was with Zed Lahead in London, England. So working there, I was exposed to it, and at that time I was still like a very new tattooer, so I was trying to do every style, everything I came across. I was trying to like at least be competent in it, just so I could call myself a tattooer.
Right.
Try and handle anything that comes in the door, type of thing. But that style wasn't even existed over here. So, but it was really big in Europe and Italy and Spain, all these places. A lot of people were getting Polynesian and stuff like that. So I wasn't exposed to it till I went there. But once I saw it, I was just so drawn into it. As soon as I did like a couple pieces, I was like, man, I love this. I just got sucked right into it.
Nice.
So,
Hey, Cory, Jeff Gogue is going to pop in with us real quick, and we can all chat together. Is that cool with you?
yeah, sounds good.
All right, man.
You didn't ask me if it was cool. I'm just joking.
Damon, is that all right, man?
I'm flattered.
Man.
Cory, your work is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Just get that off my chest.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I can't really see who's saying anything, but thank you.
Some guy with big messed up hair, man.
That's
Okay.
that's Damon talking to you now.
Damon, all right, cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you too, man. I'm a big fan. I'm honored to be here with all you guys.
The honor's
Totally,
mutual,
man.
man.
Totally.
Hey, Jeff, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right.
Jeff.
We're looking at a still photo of you.
Yes.
Well, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good.
We are good, Jeff.
What you up to?
I'm just watching the show.
Are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's nice.
I've got a gun in my mouth. I'm halfway through a bottle of scotch, and I'm watching this show. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, shit.
Wait, that.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I haven't made fun of you in a while, and so sorry.
No, it's great to see you guys.
Hey, Cory, I got a quick question for you. Does your work take a lot of prep? Like all that geometric pattern and stuff. Is it a lot of work? And do you have any way to kind of cut to make that work faster and shorter? The prep time?
Yeah, some of it doesn't require too much prep at all.
Hey, there's Jeff.
Yes.
It'll vary. Some things I'll plan out a lot beforehand, but some of it I'll just draw straight on. Some of the like more intricate patterns I've actually figured out how to draw them freehand and stuff. Some of like the 3D cube pattern that I use all the time.
Yeah.
I can draw that one just off. I can freehand that one. So a lot of my work was a lot of it was freehand for a number of years. But now I'm kind of just in the past literally just in the past 6 weeks, I decided to stop being so organic about everything and trying to learn Photoshop.
Oh, no.
So now I'm trying to plan them out a lot more beforehand, like bigger scale stuff and a little more intricate. So, so I'm taking a little turn in my career right now.
So I'm going to ask more of a general question to all three of you guys. The direction of tattooing, is it a positive thing? Where it's going? Like all this exposure? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it both? Can it be both?
I don't know how it can be bad. How can you show something to the world and it becomes bad?
Yeah, it's just the normal growth of an industry or a trade, and
Yeah. You can't make a
I think
bomb
it's
out
great.
of it. It's it's just art. It's okay.
Yeah, you can see it in the art. Where the art's gone in the last 10, 20 years is insane. It's really fun to watch.
Well,
Yeah.
and and the amount of styles and of imagery that are being put on people in tattooing now, it's expanded a lot, in the last several years.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about the added competition that's out there? More shops, more tattooers. Do you think is that a bad thing, or do you think that drives people to be better?
Oh, man, if
that's all good.
Yeah. If competition stops you, you beat it. you know?
Right on.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, man.
So I'm going to ask more of a general question to all three of you guys. Hey, who's ever watching the show needs to turn it off because we can hear it coming back through your Skype.
That was me. Sorry.
That's cool. Welcome back to the show, BJ Betts.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
All right. Wow, we got all kinds of people here.
Yeah,
I am not qualified to be sitting here.
I can't see what I'm doing here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, wait. All right, there we go. What's up? I got to put some headphones on. I'm not like a family with this nonsense.
Oh, there you are. Cool. All right.
Cool.
Advice for collectors. Damon?
Advice for collectors.
Yeah, the best way to find a good tattoo.
Probably on Instagram. Except the screen's only 2 inches. Everything looks good on Instagram. No, obviously you go online and you find out who you want work from, or I don't know, watch Spike TV or whatever, But then, going to conventions is always good. You can talk to people in person, But going to conventions is the best if you're trying to reach waiting list tattooers. Because then you become a person.
Right. You're not an email.
You're not an email, So, that'd be my biggest piece of maybe not so obvious advice.
Right on. Yeah. How about you guys? Any of you three out there?
Sorry, I missed the question. I apologize.
Advice for a collector, someone that's looking to get a great tattoo. What's one piece of advice you could give them?
I'd say book early, man. Especially if it's somebody that they really want to get tattooed by, because I'm sure Cory and Jeff, these guys have a waiting list longer than my. Let's just say it's long. No, seriously. I'd say as soon as the list of artists goes up on whatever website or whatever convention they're planning on attending, definitely try and get a hold of the guys through email as soon as possible. If they're returning for another year. Then contact them and try and make it happen, because I know for myself, man, I love tattooing repeat clients, and I don't want to say I give those guys head of the line privileges, but I'd like to if it was a good, enjoyable experience the first time,
We got
right.
I know for a fact that Jeff actually doesn't have a waiting list anymore. Haley just put that out there.
Well, yeah, she was protecting me.
Yeah.
But,
No more bothering my dad.
she does. She's protective in a lot of ways. But no, of course, I take on new clients, and I have not necessarily a waiting list, but there are people that are building I guess, just a case to get tattooed. You know, I mean, it's people that I've either met in person and got to know over the years, or at shows. They start becoming familiar, and you get to know them. You know, especially doing larger scale work, you're going to be spending 2 or 3 years with this person. 50 to 100 hours with them, thousands of dollars. Like, you don't just jump into that lightly and just take on whoever's next on the list.
Right.
It's you want to be compatible with your client. If it was a 4-hour tattoo, you could survive almost anyone. But when you're talking about a 4-year project, yeah, you want to be careful. So it's just, I think it depends on the artist and what they're going after as far as building their portfolio and building up their body of work.
Do you ever get a difficult client?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
Just like anything else, you just go, I will survive this. It's like, every person is different. So every interaction is going to be different. And some people you have to, be a little strong with, and others you can be a little more passive. And you just got to be adjustable, I think, and be willing to meet people where they're at. And if you can't, then you say, well, I'm not the person for you.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, but I think, man, Jeff, that's the best part of, one of the best parts of what we do, man, is being able to do that and say that, you know what I mean? And being, especially at this point with you, man, you can pretty much pick and choose and Cory, for that matter as well, like, pick and choose what you want to do and make it fun and make this, what we love tattooing, what we love so much about tattooing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, I just think that, like your question, Ben, about tattooing, that is the beauty of where we're at now. Is I see a maturing happening, and I see, you can get a good tattoo just about anywhere, and so there's a lot more choices for clients out there, and there's a lot more, I guess, dependability for the general public to get a good tattoo. And to me, it just spreads the love around. That we can all stay busy and do what we want to do. And if you're not super busy and you need more, then, step up your game.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you guys all see that?
Sometimes. Oh.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes, it's a matter of if you want to find that artist, ask them what they want to do. If you're really dying to get tattooed by somebody and they're not necessarily, feeling your idea or whatever, but you don't want anyone else to do it, then as you get to that stage where we're like so lucky that we get to be picky about our clients now. It comes down to like who's asking for what I'm really feeling right now. So if you're open and you let your artist know, like, you can just kind of go off and do your thing, and then you got a good shot of getting in. At least with me right now, that's sort of how I'm choosing at the moment is by those criteria. Sure. Yeah,
I like the community that we're building too. And I spent the day, part of the day with my wife, and we got. A guy talked to us about, he wanted to get a tattoo by me, but he had no idea. He just heard that I tattooed, and then his friend was telling him something about me, and then the piece he wanted was nothing like anything I do, and so it's cool that I can say, oh, this guy can do that. He's in San Francisco, and he's that's only like a day's drive from here, and people are understanding that a little bit better now, where he's saying, where before it'd be like, I'm not going to drive to San Francisco, but now you can say, yeah, this guy would do the best job for you there. So here's his name, and we get to share that. People, everything's so accessible now. You can just bring up their work right online, right on your phone, and show them and give, and it's just, it's kind of a crazy place to be compared to even just a few years ago.
Right.
It's nice to be able to send them somewhere rather than just say no. Say, sorry, I'm not your guy, and walk away. It's like, hey,
Absolutely.
man, this guy's better. And I'll just be honest. Like, hey, you know what? To be honest, I'm kind of shitty at that. Sometimes, like, when you get people that ask for what you don't do, like, I'm terrible with anatomy. I just never learned anatomy. So when people ask me for anatomy, I'm like, man, I'll be honest with you. I got my strengths, but anatomy is not one of them. If I draw you a person, it's going to look terrible.
Right.
So you want to go see this person. And like, if you got somewhere to send them, it's like kind of softens the blow a bit.
I've been on that lately. When I turn down a piece, making sure I have someone who really can do it well lined up for them, or at least to show them you can talk to this person. Yeah.
I guess
that's what makes. I think that's what makes. Sorry, I think that's what makes everybody else, like especially these two here, even better and well-respected artists, is that they don't try and, to do that, to actually pass it on and know. I don't want to say know your limits. Not that there is any limits with you guys, but to know your strengths and weaknesses. Like if somebody comes in and wants a portrait in my shop, and I worked with Shane O'Neill for a lot of years, and he's a very well-known portrait guy. Like, what am I going to do a portrait for? This guy's in the next room. What am I? What do you want me? And Shane did the same with me. If somebody wanted, some lettering across their shoulders, obviously he would say, go to BJ. I'm not your man. So,
Right.
and I think that just says a lot about the individual, and they also, know to again know their strengths and weaknesses, and can make everything. It just makes a better experience for the client as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what back to what Cory was saying as well of having people ask what he's into, and to make it a little easier for him. Unfortunately, a lot of people think when they come in the shop and they tell you like do whatever you want, that they think that's like some tattoo artist's like wet dream or something, man. It's not.
Right.
We need some sort of direction. At least give me something, man. Give me an idea of something that you like. I'm sure with with Jeff, when you do these large bodies of work, I mean, somebody's got to give you something. You know what I mean? They just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah. My favorite was when I was talking years ago to Robert Hernandez about getting a piece. And, I said, I want to get tattooed by you. And he goes, okay. And he goes, what do you want? And I go, whatever you want to do. And he goes, would you like it sinister? And I go, yeah, of course. That's what I want, sinister.
Yeah.
So I try to generalize things too. If someone's giving me nothing, it's like, well, do you want this to be dark? Do you want it to be noble? Like, I want to know at least what you're trying to convey. I can come up with imagery for sure, but
An old Washington guy named Walt Daly is an old tattooer, an awesome tattooer. He would ask people who said that, and that's where I picked it up from. He'd ask them, tell me 5 things you like, 5 things you hate.
oh, that's
Perfect.
good.
And
Perfect.
and I do basically something like that. When you started Slave to the Needle in the Northwest, you are doing custom pieces way sooner than you should be. You're booked out way before you should be. And so I had to try to find ways to, A, develop my strategy while I'm asking these questions because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And and B, try to get some clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to have a starting point,
Yeah.
Even like for a while, it was like with black work, there's henna, there's geometric, there's like straight pure Polynesian.
Right.
Sometimes it'd be like, well, which one of those do you want? Like I know you like, if you want some black work, what kind of stuff? It can be a lot of different things. So the starting point is always good.
Cory, I recently saw the black hole head tattoo that you did. Now, was that
Yeah.
purely
that thing was-
was that purely you, or was that your client? Like,
That was more the client. Yeah, that was Josh Fields, a really awesome tattooer from Iowa, a good friend of mine. The concept, he gave me a bunch of imagery, and it wasn't even totally it was up my alley, but it wasn't stuff that I do often. It was basically an outer space theme. So the things he told me was he wanted Orion's belt in there, he wanted a wormhole, and some planets and stuff like that. So that piece, definitely went kind of viral lately, and
well,
I don't know. I see a lot of people talking about it only looks good from one angle and all this shit. The fact that it looks like his head is caving in was that wasn't my plan from the start. That was just my best way to convey a wormhole. I figured, okay, I'm going to stick it off center. I'm going to have it go in, and then it's going to create this cage, sort of like the frame for his whole head. And when it was done, it was like, oh wow, it looks like there's a big dent in his head. But it wasn't,
cool.
It wasn't planned that way. It wasn't like I'm going to give this guy a dent in his head and it's going to look only good from the left side. It was just that kind of happened later. I was totally accidental.
Yeah, that thing's rad, man.
Thank you so much.
big
I
time.
was happy with that. Thank you.
yeah, when I saw
He's a
that,
great dude too.
There was definitely I saw it was like mind blowing. It's like holy crap! I don't know, it was very impressive. I dug that one a lot.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for talking with us, guys. Jeff, I know you're here to tell us about a new video that we're going to show in just a minute, and the rest of you guys, thanks for talking with us. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back with us some other time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'd love to. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Me too. Thank you very much.
No doubt.
Honored to be here.
Yep.
So, Jeff, you got a new video coming out?
Yeah, it's coming out. We're going to order it on well, I guess tomorrow's a holiday, but Tuesday we're ordering the DVDs. It's all complete. It's called Tattoo as I See It. My cat's coming in here.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, cute.
She does that every time.
baby kitty.
Yeah, her name is Baby Kitty. How'd you know
I
that?
remember her from the last time.
Funny. But yeah, anyway, my friend Ryan Moon is a aspiring director and filmmaker, and she's not going to leave me alone.
It's all right. She's
Go
she's
away,
welcome.
baby. Anyway, he came to me a couple years ago, and he had made a one-day video out of my painting workshop I did at his school, and it was just, it was roughly made. It was not planned. He was just recording it for the sake of, record keeping for the school, and then wanted to make a video, which ended up, doing really well for the school and helping a lot of people out. I'd like to remake it someday with better filmmaking and close-ups on the painting, but that's another project. So he came back to me and he said, I want to follow that up. It was called The Business of Painting, and he said, I wanted to do the business of tattooing. And this is 2 years ago, and I said, and I just don't have the time, and it would get so involved to try to make a true instructional DVD or instructional video on tattooing. So I don't know. And it was just kind of something we started. He just started filming. He said, I'm just going to do it on my own then. And he would just come in and interview people, interview me, film the goings on of the shop. And then it all started coming together when he came and filmed my seminar. And then, so it's taken about a year and a half, and it is, it's a documentary style, semi-instructional video. And mostly it has to deal with the why behind what we do. And as tattooers, why tattoo, and why put your whole heart into it, And then I do get into some specifics about tattooing and design and color and all that, and it's all very, and I'm saying this objectively, coming from someone just watching someone else's work. I mean, I know I'm in the video and it's my work, but I'm watching it as Ryan's work of conveying a message and conveying, I guess just the view of the camera. It's amazing. I mean, I've watched the video a few times just out of editing and trying to, make sure that all the bases are covered. But I really love the video, and I love how the information surfaces with multiple viewings. And even me, I'm watching it, and I see a couple years of work into it, and I see things come up, and I hear things being said that I don't remember saying, but they're good, and I'm learning from it. So yeah, I'm super excited. It's been an overwhelming task, and it's been super expensive, and I made a company to pay for it, the Unicycle brand, and that's this is going to kind of be the launch of it as an art collective, or an artist collective. I have some artists lined up. And so, yeah, I mean, to me, it's huge. It's probably the biggest endeavor I've done as outside of, just daily tattooing. It's a huge deal for me. So I'm excited, a little nervous, but mostly excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Where are people going to be able
Thank
to get a
you.
hold of this?
We're going to sell it on our website at unicyclebrand.com.
Cool.
And I mean, it'll be through Gogue Art. Gabe is going to help me promote it through TattooNOW and Off the Map. And I have Solon, the Solon guys on it. It's sponsored by Fusion Ink. It's sponsored by Solon and by Cheyenne Tattoo Equipment out of Germany. So it possibly will go international distribution, and we're going to try to sell it on our own just from our website. What we have coming out in the next couple weeks is the normal single disc, and then hopefully by mid-December we'll have a double disc collector's edition, kind of like a box set, and the second disc is going to have the collaboration of all my Japan trips, and kind of like a home video style, like a home movie of my 7 trips to Japan and getting my back done by Shige, and kind of the story behind me getting to Japan and meeting Shige and what that did for me as a person. And we've done all that filming too. It's just we're still editing that second disc. But it's going to be super cool, signed and numbered, limited edition,
Just in time for the
real
holidays.
tangible disc. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to seeing
But
it.
yeah,
So we've got a
I'm
little
excited.
trailer here that you guys put together. We're going to show. And
Thank you.
hey, thanks for being with us, man.
yeah, thank you. Great talking to you guys.
You know?
It's always good talking with you. All right.
All right.
Show
Thank
that
you.
clip.
Cheers.
The more that you invest yourself, the more that you convey the things that move you, the more moving your art's going to be, the more compelling your work is going to be, and the more interesting or interested people will be in your work, because it's going to come from a genuine place.
All right, that was Jeff Gogue's preview for his upcoming DVD. I'm really excited about it, and he said you can pick it up in the next couple weeks. And then as you probably heard, the deluxe version is coming out in mid-December. This next video is a submitted video to us. If you have videos, please send them to us. We want to see them. We want to show them to people. This next one is from Tattoo Artist Magazine. It's Paul Booth interview. It's about 5 minutes long. It's a pretty rad video, so stick around. And then we'll have Tattoo the Day and TattooNOW Network News. Check it out.
Hey, I'm Paul Booth. We're here in New York City at Last Rites. Been here 5 years at this location. About 9 years before that down on the Lower East Side, and we're just getting ready to remodel on stage 3. Welcome. The first tattoo I remember seeing is probably a hand-poked scorpion on the bad boy in my high school that I thought, wow, that's so badass. He's like the bad kid, you know, but shitty tattoo. But I found it interesting because really my first thoughts were, that could have been done better, you know? Why did you do that, you know? And it's like, it has to be able to be done better. I didn't know anything, you know, I was like a freshman in high school. I was a punk rocker, but an artist, of course, and so I was intrigued with tattoos because, of course, back then, rebellion was still a big part of it before it became, you know, vegan couture or whatever it may be now. Of course, it's everything now, so I Surely I jest. But anyway, so I was of course intrigued with anything that was outsider or rebellious, like tattooing then, you know, more so than now. You actually, if you had exposed tattoos, you know, anyone with a hand tattoo or a neck or anything was definitely probably done time in jail, you know. Not in every case, of course, but more prominent than now. It's like, you know, far changed. Even head tattoos on people that back in the day, you know, wouldn't be nearly as trendy or publicly acceptable. You know? So I kind of miss that. But now what you have to do to be rebellious is practically chop off body parts, you know, which I'm not opposed to, but I'd rather do it on someone else than me, you know. I'm waiting for that to become trendy. Yeah, so that was like my very first start. Then I had my daughter, well, a girl actually had my daughter. I just helped when I was 19, and went and got my daughter's name tattooed on me with a little flower and a little heart that I had him carve out and customize, which I thought like, wow, you could customize these, you know, picking number 89 off the wall and, you know, and trying to make it art with a guy that wasn't an artist. And man, you know, but you got to keep in mind at that time there wasn't much beyond that, you know. In the general, I mean, there was, but there wasn't enough communication to know who they were, you know. Like, you know, I didn't know about Greg Irons until I was already an apprentice looking at Tattoo Advocate, which I didn't even know existed until I was apprentice, you know. So there was no public, any mass information, so, you know, worked within the means. But, you know, I got her name tattooed on me. I got to customize it. I watched him do it. I was so intrigued with the idea of this permanent art. I was already an artist, so of course I was looking at it as artistic potential and could see it could obviously be taken a lot further, and kind of building the relationships in my head as to like, okay, well, I do this with charcoal, I do this with airbrush. And when I started tattooing, I'd already been actually teaching airbrush for a few years, and so I really likened the two together, you know, as far as the comparatives of the approach. And of course, airbrushing and tattooing are obviously way different, but mentally, creatively, I saw a lot of similarities that it seemed very natural crossover for me to, you know, go into that. And I love the pain. I love the idea of inflicting it and receiving it. The whole thing was just so intriguing on so many levels, you know. I remember dealing with the pain and watching the art happen, and that relationship between the two just really kind of made me feel like there's a lot more to this.
Hey, this is Matt. Wow, I do look scumbagish. Hello, all 70 people out there. I'm Matt. I'm usually behind the computer. I'm going to be handling some of the network news from TattooNOW. The first news that comes out is Jose Perez in Darkwater is again killing it with our news items. Jose went through a really good write-up about portfolios, how to build them. He's been tattooing for over 9 years. He gives some really solid examples. Just overall great content. In other news, today was Animal Tattoos for Hunger benefit. I think you guys heard a little bit earlier in the episode, but we did a ton of tattoos. We'll be donating. You can expect a news item probably a little bit later in the week, as we'll be highlighting all the other shops that participated. So we'll do a small write-up for that. If you guys are interested in signing up for an event in the future, feel free to join our mailing list. We usually give a heads up beforehand on that. So that's about it.
What we got coming up next, Matt?
Well, what we got coming up next is Tattoo of the Day.
Sweet! Here it is.
your picture and they think you're pretty. And it's all too clear for us now. The dollar is in your road, is in my heart. And we know our enemies now.
Well, that's it. That is our show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments at all, please send them to us. We want to hear them. Next show in 2 weeks, the 24th, I believe. We've got Nate Beavers, Mary D, photographer extraordinaire, will be with us. And a special guest that we haven't quite booked yet. So tune in and check it out. After the show, coming up at midnight, is Guy Aitchison and Michelle Wortman with their new webcast, Hypercast, with special guest Juan Salgado. Check it out. Stick around for that. And thanks for being with us. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.